All right, man, here we go. So, you know, we got JJ Redick, you know, smacking Stephen A around with these facts, about Go James. You know, he talking about how players don't fear. I mean, listen to me, man. All right, listen, man. You don't make a big four if you're not scared of the fear. You hear me? The Boston Celtics don't feel the need to do what they did in 2008 if Le Savage don't come back for that 38 special, 25 in a row to get to the finals, huh? It is what it is, right? Come on, man. You got the Jordan rules, which is a game plan that everybody has for every player, every top player. And then you got niggas that actually move, like actually change, you know, move superstars around, you know, to make a super team against Le Savage. And Le Savage specifically, man. This is admitted by the players. This is admitted by the guys over there. KG said it. You know what I'm saying? Anyways,
Well, I don't think it's what Stewart's challenging him. Stewart just lost it, and obviously that's what it is. What it had me thinking about, though, because in all the years that I've covered the league, we talk about the Jordans of the world, the Kobe's of the world, and people like that. And you saw LeBron when he first came into the league. You saw when they went to the finals. You saw when they was feigning, taking pictures and playing around and being jovial and all of that other stuff. LeBron James is too phenomenal and too great not to be incredibly respected. But in my estimation, from the people that I've spoken to covering the league, he's never been feared. LeBron doesn't is not somebody that instills fear in you. Of course, you got a game plan.
okay, listen. This is what I'm saying. Fear, like fear. Who? I mean, fear. What are you talking about, right? Like, what nigga? Who is gonna tell? Who's gonna tell a reporter, a niggas that like you are a reporter. That means you are a mouth runner. You are a rat. You a snitch. Like you talk for a living. Like you know what I'm saying. So you gonna tell. Like you're gonna tell it. Allegedly, eventually, sooner or later, it'll get out. That's what these motherfuckers must have. They have to be thinking in the back of their head. They don't want to hear no off the record shit. I'm not telling you that I'm scared of another man like you weak sauce in the '90s did, right? You know, I mean, I can't imagine, you know. But hey, I mean, it was after they all retired and shit, when they was all already out of the league. You think they're gonna just admit that shit while they sitting there playing with? I mean, with the boy? Like, you crazy or something? Like, fear. What do you mean? What about the actuality of the situation, man? What about the fact that if Go James, you know, get two, get Kyrie and Kevin Love, that it's a super team? Like, what about shit like that? I mean, what about that? I mean, like I don't understand. Like Kyrie and Kevin Love ain't making no super team with anybody else ever. You know. Anyways,
For him, and you know that his Herculean talents and what have you, what he brings to the table, he's impossible to stop. He's one of the top 2, 3 players in the history of basketball. You know all of those things. But a lot of times when we think about MJ, for example, and obviously he's the one person that draws those comparisons, what ultimately comes up short is the level of fear that was instilled in you. You didn't mess with MJ. You didn't come at MJ like that. You didn't do stuff like that. People, and I'm not talking about Isaiah Stewart, I'm just talking about period in terms of opponents and how they come at you. believe that you wondered what you was going to do about this. With LeBron, you believe you can take it. You believe he can be had, whether it's because of the
Okay, but listen, based on what, you know? This is what I'm saying. It's like based on, okay, based on what is what you're saying that about, like, who's doing that? Who have you seen call out Latrine hands? Listen, you got little Isaiah Stewart, little Isaiah, not not little Isaiah, not little Zeke, but the young one. You got this man. He running that Go James. He split his whole shit open. Okay, that don't mean that the league don't fear fear, man. What are you talking about? Huh? What are you talking about, man? You think a nigga? Listen, man. We watched this a little bit, and JJ Redick, he does his thing, but it's like, I mean, come on, JJ, just speak.
teammates around him, the system
He
he's playing
says
in,
enough,
people
but
that
it's like,
whatever
dude,
skill set you bring to the table, etc., etc. You just view him differently. And throughout the years in covering the league, those are all the things that I've consistently heard. Now, obviously, he would refute that. There's players that will refute that who have been supportive of him. Rich Paul and Maverick Carter definitely would refute that because I've spoken to them about it in the past. But again,
what is? I mean, so why are you even saying that? Like, why wouldn't they refute that? That's they nigga they brought up with from the get. And then the thing is, ain't a lot of them, ain't one of them niggas say your fake goat is a real goat. I mean, who gives a shit? Like, who gives a shit? They not playing in the league. You can't. What are you gonna be, a boxer and tell a nigga like that you scared of another nigga? Like, you can't say that shit. Are you fucking stupid? Like, are you stupid? You can't say that. You gotta be stupid to say that, you know? Come on, man. Especially to a reporter whose job is to report it. Alright? I don't want to hear about that off the record shit neither.
he is profoundly respected. This is not an issue about respect for LeBron. I'm talking fear factor. Fear factor. That's
As if they not intertwined though, is what I'm saying. You know? They're intertwined. You can intertwine the two. Niggas not sit up. You act like niggas sitting up there playing with Gold James.
just
Oh
not
man,
something that has ever been associated with him.
because of you.
There's a lot to unpack there.
Go ahead.
Because of you and the Jordanite media. All right, go.
There's a lot to unpack there.
That's why you're here?
First of all, two of the guys you brought up in that conversation,
Yes.
Kobe
Yeah.
got two-piece by Chris Childs.
Yes, Chris Childs.
Michael Jordan got the hell beat out of him for years by the Detroit Pistons.
Here you go. Here you go. Here you
They
go.
challenged
Look at
him
him.
physically.
Look at him.
To say that LeBron...
Look at the face. Look at the face. What can you say though? He did get his ass whooped. Listen, hold up. Let's run this back. Your fake goat got his ass. Hold up. And it wasn't even your fake goat. Listen, Pip got his ass knocked out by the bad boy Pistons. And MJ was getting his ass smacked around without Pip. To the point where he went and bitched and he complained and he whined and he moaned to David Stern, nigga, and got the flagrant foul introduced in 1991. You could not touch your, after that, you could not touch your fake goat in the 90s. And nigga, that's facts, alright? Alright? What do you mean niggas couldn't challenge your fake goat? You couldn't touch the boy. Magic said it when he barely wanted to touch him taking a picture for the foul, nigga. Come on, man. Run
He's
this.
won 4 championships, multiple league MVPs, made the finals 8 straight years.
Right.
To say he's not feared
Not
by
feared.
players,
Not feared.
I don't know whether to believe that you believe what you're saying.
He don't believe.
That's crazy.
Listen, hold up. See, this is beautiful right here, because the thing is, if you really got logic, you know that you can't believe the type of shit that comes out of some of these ball watchers, basketball watchers, mouths, But this is the thing, man, and you got to follow me when we say this over here, because when you got Jordan Knight logic, all right, you go to saying stupid shit like this, man, and yes, he believes it, man. He does believe it, and you can't make him not believe it, all right, but he ain't got the logic, all right. He can't the logic. It just don't add up. And when you and when you and when you break it down to a Jordan Knight with actual logic, you go and show a Jordan Knight the face that Stephen A had about 10 seconds ago. All
Well,
right.
it's not crazy. It's not
That's crazy.
It's not crazy. And you know
It is
better.
crazy.
You know better. You better.
You see that?
When has there been a situation you believe
He,
what you're
you know it's not crazy. What do you mean? Like, what do you mean? What do you like? You saying that niggas didn't like niggas feared your fake goat? Horace Grant said he called his hands out. That's a teammate. Niggas didn't. You talk about how niggas feared your fake goat. Pip out your at his head. Niggas didn't fear your fake goat. What? I mean, niggas did. I mean, is what he said. Like, come on, man. Like, are you crazy? What is? Come on, man. That's teammates going at his rack. You know. Come on, man. And he say, you know he, it makes sense. Boy, get your,
I do believe
that's crazy.
Well, it's not crazy. It's not
That's crazy.
It's not crazy. And you know better. You know better.
No better what?
Hold on, but when has there been a situation, if you're talking physical confrontation?
No, I'm not. Listen.
Physical confrontation.
Listen.
If you're not talking about physical confrontation, what are you talking about? Because you're talking about they give him his respect. What are you talking about fear? If you're not talking about physical confrontation, what are you talking about fear? What? You're not talking about the court. What are you talking about? If you're not talking about physical, what are you talking about? Huh? What are you talking about? Huh? Are you talking about the power that the power has in the media? Like, you do see niggas like walk on eggshells when they talking about the Savage in the media. Except if they're a Jordan Knight, pure blood, pure bread, pure true blue. If they're a Jordan Knight, then we know how this goes, man. But if you on the lit team, you got to walk on them eggshells. Just like if you on that Jordan Knight side, you you can't speak these facts against your fake goat, nigga. Come on, man.
Well,
If that's what you're referring to,
I'm not-
nobody's ever challenged LeBron like that. Why would they?
nobody could challenge him.
Exactly.
I forgot who it was, the center that played for the Chicago Bulls when he shoved LeBron to the ground, pushed him to the floor when he was in Miami. But that's neither here nor there. What I'm saying to you is this: if you watch
outta
the
here.
game, which you do, and you
I played the game, but I
Come
played
on.
the game, Stephen A, and I played against LeBron in the playoffs.
Okay.
And I played against
Okay.
LeBron. I played against LeBron for 15 years.
Huh?
what he can do. Listen, you fear what he can do to you on the basketball court because nobody could ever question the greatness of LeBron James. But what I am trying to say to you is that you look at him. There's certain things with MJ in the era that he was in. I've spoken to Isaiah. I've spoken to Dr. J. I've spoken to Kareem. I've spoken to Magic. I've spoken to other folks. There's a culture that existed in the 80s, into the 90s, into the 2000s, or what have you. When you look at LeBron and you compare him to some of the preeminent superstars that have played this game, when it comes to fear, that's one of the differences.
You mean
that
because LeBron's more accessible, like in terms
It
of
could be-
personality,
it
and
could be-
where
it could
MJ
be-
wasn't like one of the
Whoa,
buddy
whoa,
buddy
whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody say it. Everybody now. Ready? Shut up, Molly. Come on, everybody say it. Come on. Say it. Say it. Somebody. Somebody say it.
guys
That could be. That could have a lot. That could have a lot to do with it. What I'm saying is, we're talking about the greatest player who ever played the game, which I believe to be Michael Jordan. And a lot of times, when you delineate the difference between the two, whether it's Michael Jordan or it's LeBron James, they're talking about a fear factor. There's just certain things you knew that you wasn't going to do to MJ. You could come to MJ on the court But the things that people have done, the way that they've talked about LeBron James, the way that they've come behind him in the media, behind his back and stuff like that. You hear stuff 30 years later about MJ. A lot of times you didn't hear that kind of stuff going on because there was a level of respect and fear that LeBron, I shouldn't say respect because LeBron has always been respected. But yes.
Stephen A.
Yes.
Hold on a second.
Wait, you didn't have social media. No, he said he said it. He said this, all right? He said this, okay? So I don't even gotta, but it's like, what are you like, if you, it's like, dude, you are the one that's spinning the narrative of the Savage not being feared and then come out telling a nigga that he's not feared. God damn, man. You fucking Jordanites. Damn. Damn. What?
LeBron has grown up in a completely different world that existed in the 80s and 90s. There was no First Take in the 90s. Could you imagine in the New York Knicks series, or MJ going to Atlantic City the day before the game and coming home at 2 a.m.? Social media, this show, that's all you would talk about for days.
No.
For days.
No.
No.
Yes, it would be.
No. You're a liar. Come on, man. All you've been talking about is Go James ever since this whole motherfucking shit happened with little Isaiah Stewart. Come on, man. Stop playing around, man. Stop it. Why do you cap? Why? I'm about to tell you why. Because you a Jordanite. All right? And a Jordanite, they just have to put the cap with the cape on for they fake GOAT, man. Because when you talk about real GOAT shit, your fake GOAT just don't pass the test, man. It is what it is. You think you a real GOAT because you played against some weak sauce in the 90s? Nigga, the weakest ever in NBA history? Is you serious? No, sir. We're not letting you go. We're not letting you have it, man.
Let me tell you what I said back there.
Run his back.
I'm glad you brought that up.
No, you're not.
For days.
No.
Yes, it would be.
No, not in this show. Not in this show. Because as far as I'm concerned, listen, let me tell you what I said.
Oh my God.
I'm glad
For days, like you wasn't talking. Whatever.
Michael Jordan went out and gambled, right? And Michael Jordan, hypothetically, I guess it was in the millions or whatever, he might have lost. My response, you have any idea how much money Michael Jordan was?
What he worth?
What does it have to do with nothing?
What the fuck? Yeah, right.
I'm saying, the point that I'm trying to make.
The reason people talk about LeBron, though, is because he lives in a 24/7 news
They would have
cycle
talked about
all the
anybody,
time.
and
all the time.
and it would have been just as bad, if not worse, for MJ, no doubt about it. But I'm talking
That's cap.
about.
Whoa. It'll all depend on. It'd all depend, because if Katie was in the 90s, they'd mold their shit after Katie, because he's just better. He's just a better motherfucker. He's just a better offensive fucking monster than the boy, man. Huh? A 7-foot fucking tarantula on the court. Who's stopping that in a weak sauce in the 90s, man? 1v1 league? Come on, man. Anyway.
Respect and fear. There's no question. We ain't talking about respect.
And I'm disagreeing with you completely.
And so you're saying
There's no credence to Stephen A's argument,
so you're saying that the people like that, the fear that Michael Jordan instilled in people, that's what LeBron did?
Yes.
Okay.
Fearing who? Fearing who? Like, fearing who? Fearing who? Like, fearing who? Who's feared? Who are you talking about? You said Magic. You said Isaiah. You said Bird. They all cooked the boy. All of them. They all cooked him. They all cooked him, man. What are you talking about? I dropped Bird. I dropped Bird in the 90s. He the best thing in the 90s. I dropped Magic in the 90s. He the best thing in the 90s. I dropped Isaiah in the 90s. Little Isaiah, Go Zeke in the 90s, he the best thing in the 90s. Nigga, I dropped Kareem in the 90s, he the best thing in the 90s. You think if I don't drop Katie in the 90s, he not the best thing in the 90s? If I drop Goat James in the 90s, nigga, come on. Come on, man. He the best thing in the 90s. What are you talking about? If I keep Tim Duncan in the 90s, he's the best thing in the 90s, man. Come on, man. What are we talking about? We talking about a fake GOAT. Come on, man. What, the 90s? Or what, fear? Okay, of course. You're not talking, fear who? Fear, who's in fear? Who's in fear? Huh? Who's in fear? Bird wasn't. Who's in fear? Magic? He wasn't. Who's in fear? Go Zeke smacking him around in the East? Who's in fear, man? Huh? Because it definitely ain't no damn all-time great. Who's in fear? I don't understand, man. Weak sauce in the 90s? It's not good enough. Fear? Huh? You 6'6", 205. At your peak, 220 when you're fat. You're not the jump man at 220. So, I don't understand. Fear? Okay, look at who's in fear, man. Look at who's in fear. These 6 foot, 6'3" ass guards on the wing. And ain't got no offense, barely any offensive game, like, in fear. Who gives a fuck? Who are you talking about that's in fear, man? Huh? Fear. Le fear. Nigga.